Hello! Today is day 6 for this 7 days video challenge that I'm sharing with you with tips and content which have helped me to break the fear of public speaking. And today the topic is modeling. So what is modeling? Well, as human beings, we model everything nearly from the day we are born. In fact, we are creatures who depend the most from others in order to survive. We need help for food, shelter, clothes, and even protection until we become independent. So in order to be independent, we learn from our parents or primary caretakers. We see how they walk and then we model them walking. We see how they communicate and we model them and we learn to speak. When we go to school, we might model our classmates because we want to belong. We might model our teachers and so on until we grow up and we go to work. We can start modeling colleagues or our managers. We might model the car they have, the houses they own. We model many things that we watch at TV or in social media these days. So why don't we do the same with public speaking? Without noticing, what I was doing, it was practicing a neuro-linguistic program technique, which is called modeling. And in fact, later on, I learned that it's a deep trance identification technique. And I want to share those steps with you today because that's what I did. Number 1, I chose a success model. Then imagine that model performing. After that, you imagine yourself being in the body of that person. For 1, you go back to your body. 5th, you repeat. 6, you break your state. And 7, you practice. So should we dig in each one of them? Why not? The first one is choose your success model, which means in fact to choose a person who you want to copy the skills, or you want to explore and improve on those skills that person already has. Preferably, you go and watch them face to face speaking, but films or videos is perfectly alright. After that you see the skills that person has, the language they use, the pronunciation they have, in particular if English is not your first language and you want to improve those skills, you focus on what that person that you admire, that you want to model has. After several times that you do that, and I remember I used to go to every single workshop, speeches, or gigs that I could, and I was picking not one but several skills from each one of these public speakers that I was watching or listening. The second step was to imagine that person performing. When you're in a quiet place, imagine that person like a movie and is exactly doing the same public speaking gig that you saw him or her performing. Once you play that as a movie, then you imagine yourself the way that you want to do it, the best way it suits you. You imagine yourself floating into the body of that person. And once inside, you let the person still do the gig, speak in public, but with you in there, performing those skills that you want to model. You play as a movie, and as a fourth step, you go back floating to your body. And it's okay to involve all the senses that you can, not only visually, but auditory or kinesthetically. And I used to write a lot when I went to those gigs. If you met me while I was in the corporate world those years, people would tell me, gee, you write a lot. And I would think, yeah, that's for my own benefit. Because after that, I will come home and I will make a list. And I still keep a spreadsheet with all the new expressions and the new words that I would learn every single day. That's how I improve my pronunciation and my vocabulary. But continuing with step, you go back to your body with those new skills that you have learned from that person. Because not necessarily you're going to copycat someone exactly the same. It's really impossible. It's actually impossible. You're going to pick up what the things that suit you, that you feel they're appealing for you, and more than that, the things that you give value to. So for example, if you give value to the intonation and you like someone with a voice variety, with a particular tone, then you model that. But it's going to be incorporated with your own style. So really you're not cheating or taking advantage of someone else's skills. You're just modeling. You're not inventing the wheel again. So as a fifth step, after you perform yourself in your own body again, you repeat this once or twice. Finally, the sixth step before the last one is to break the state. And this is part of the trance identification technique, where you just focus on another thing. You forget about the gig, you forget about the public speaking person that you want to model, but you focus on the floor, you focus on the wall, the colors of the furniture or the texture of whatever clothes you're wearing. Finally, what you do is to find an environment, a safe environment, where you can practice this. And I talk about finding an audience and exposing yourself to an audience in a previous video. With these 7 steps, the more you practice and the more you model, you do this with one person, you repeat with another person and another expression, and so on. And until then, I keep those spreadsheets where I was writing, coming home, finding the meaning of the new word that I wanted to learn, and making sure that I will incorporate that to my expressions and my vocabulary. So if you found this content useful, I hope you can choose one model at a time, one person at a time that you can model successfully. Tomorrow, I have another topic that I want to share. Is the final one, and I have prepared great content for the last day of this challenge, because you matter, you are important, and finding your voice and unleashing it to the world, it will mean that you can heal yourself and avoid any mental health, physical health, and emotional health issues in the future. So I leave you for now, and I hope you really enjoy it. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.